I was teaching the course Books Behind Bars, Life, Literature, and Leadership, which is a course where my university students go to Bonaire Juvenile Correctional Center once a week and facilitate conversations about Russian literature with the Bonaire students. So when I first got the news, my first reaction was, how in the world am I going to make this work? Because the very core of this class, as I had always understood it, was the relationships between the Bonaire students and the UVA students, relationships that grow week after week through live interactions, through friendship, through sharing of ideas and insights about literature, about life. So much of the power of these relationships was that face-to-face interaction. So my first reaction was one of fear, of total uncertainty, and of desperately seeking any band-aids I could find, any opportunities I could find to try to resurrect the parts of the course that I thought were fundamental to the learning. Some of my challenges were very practical, very pragmatic. I had no experience with online teaching in any form. So that in itself was a challenge. Then thinking about, another practical question, how do we resurrect these relationships in the form that they had been taking place? And the deeper challenges were about how I was going to relate to students. Now, what was my role in the classroom now that we were in the midst of a crisis, right? This was not business as usual anymore. We're sailing on a broken ship towards an unknown destination. What does a course need to be at a time when the entire world is facing a crisis we've never seen before, when students and I and our community partners are all thrown into this same boat? I think our biggest success is how we, is the human dimension of how we collectively, my students and I, faced this crisis together and made meaning out of it. I think we all went very deep, and there was a very powerful upsurge of human learning that took place, because now our class was no longer just about what it had been about. It was a class in resilience, in community, in compassion in a time of trauma. I think it's important to give yourself a break and not aim for perfection. So really, I think that's important. And I think we need to take the pressure off of ourselves to be perfect teachers. And this goes for all of us. You do the best that you can, and you put, sincere intention and effort into it. But recognize that, for those of us, especially who are not experienced at online teaching, that this is something, we need to give ourselves a break. The other point that I would make specifically to community engaged faculty is to really think hard about what their class is now in this time of trauma. What new meanings does their class take on? What new significance does their relationship with the community partners take on? And then the last point that I would emphasize to all faculty, certainly community engaged faculty in particular, is let's not get so wrapped up in the online aspect of all of this. Let's not get so wrapped up in perfecting our skills at online delivery that we forget the really important human dimension of this moment. That the world is in territory we've never been in before. We're in the midst of a worldwide crisis, of a trauma, for many a tragedy. I do worry that in our emphasis to become excellent online teachers, which is a worthy and important goal to strive towards, but I think in our focus on that, we might be losing sight of something else that is equally, and I would argue even more important about this moment, and that is the opportunities for profound human growth and learning that can take place, and that we can help help facilitate in our students.